I'm reading from John 17 in verses 20 to 26. My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you've sent me. I've given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one. I in them and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. Then the world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you've loved me. Father, I want those you've given me to be with me, where I am, and to see my glory, the glory you have given me because you loved me before the creation of the world. Righteous Father, though the world doesn't know you, I know you, and they know that you've sent me. Now I've made you known to them and will continue to make you known, in order that the love you have for me may be in them, and that I myself may be in them. Now, John 17 is one of the most fascinating chapters in the whole of John's Gospel. It's sometimes been referred to by people as the high priestly prayer of Jesus. We don't often get the insight of listening to Jesus pray, but we certainly get that insight when we turn to John 17. It affords us a picture of the intimacy of the relationship between Jesus Christ and God the Father. It reveals the deep concern that he had for his disciples. But you know, it goes so much further than that. It shows his concern not only for the disciples, but for all those that will follow after. And it includes, of course, ourselves. This is the last aspect that I want to draw your attention to as we start thinking about the season of Pentecost, the gift of God. Jesus is praying for all believers, all Christians, in every place, whatever language, whatever culture. He stretches the focus of his prayer. And it's so easy for modern Christians to only be concerned about their own circle of concern, to be only interested in themselves and those things that they're familiar with. But we're given a clear link here between ourselves and those who were the first disciples. And that link is through the message given to us all. Jesus Christ shares his glory and does not display anything of selfishness and protecting his relationship. He's given of himself so that we might be one, a complete sense of unity. And we read that when we open up these verses. I am in them and you are in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. Unity is a very powerful word. We know how important it is in the society and the world in which we live. We see so many broken aspects of it and how things fracture in our society. But he gave us a dream, a vision, to lift our eyes, our hearts to something better. He's given his gift to us that the world might know the purpose which truly is a purpose of God. Then the world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. The purpose of his love is that people might know that they count, that they're valued, that they're really part of something bigger than themselves. His selflessness, it flows from so much of his character and nature. And this is very religious, you know, his eternal love. But it's much more than just a religious statement. It's actually giving us a bigger picture, a bigger context in which to live our lives instead of the narrowness that so often fills the way we see things. Father, I want those you've given me to be with me, that where I am, and to see my glory, the glory you've given me because you loved me before the creation of the world. You know, some people read that as talking in terms of God fixing the whole world. I see it as a much more profound thought than that our lives, what we're about, is lived on a canvas that's far bigger than the narrowness of our vista, something bigger. It's a wonderful thought that God in Jesus Christ is concerned not only about the disciples, not only about the famous Christians, but about me and about you. And when I listen to him praying here, I'm grateful, because as I begin to anticipate the gift of Pentecost, of the Holy Spirit given to the life of the Christian church, I'm just grateful that he was already talking about that as he gathered with the disciples. A group of disciples who knew what it was to follow him, who knew what it was to let him down, who knew what it was to get things all messed up, but finding that they were given purpose, a purpose that makes, that remakes, that reconstitutes life, that gives purpose and meaning and quality. As we listened earlier, talking about young people in a school context where they need to realize that they are already in the making. They're already people, human beings that God's potential can be released through. Knowing that wherever we find ourselves, we can look around and we can see how we can help to fulfill the prayer of Jesus by our actions, by our words, by the way in which we reach into people's lives. It's a marvellous picture in John's Gospel, and situated quite strategically before the Passion, before the journey that leads eventually to the cross. And of course, it's in the cross that we find our deepest and most profound sense of purpose and meaning.